It's now time for Crime in the DMV, where you can stay ahead with Fox 5 as we bring you the latest headlines from the week. I'm Sierra Fox. We start with an update to a serial rape case. A D.C. barbershop owner pled guilty to several local and federal charges of second-degree rape. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis explains.
Well, a disturbing set of circumstances, to say the least. State's Attorney Aisha Braveway saying a now 40-year-old Julian Everett plotted on unsuspecting girls, placing them in a semi-unconscious state before raping them and recording the encounters. That was what was discussed at court today. Everett apparently pleading guilty now to 3 charges of second-degree rape, accepting a plea deal. All of this unfolding, and we know that there were at least 5 victims. One victim showed up to court today and stood behind State's Attorney Aisha Braveway in solidarity.
We encourage victims to come forward. In fact, at the time of arrest, we encouraged victims to come forward, and at least one of those victims did come forward. And if there are other victims out there, we would like to know who they are.
Everett, meanwhile, we're told, faces between 20 and 25 years behind bars on local and also federal charges. That prison sentence would run concurrently. Meanwhile, State's Attorney Aisha Braveway says this all started with an anonymous letter to police. Braveway goes on to say the first reported incident apparently took place in 2005, and the most recent reported rape took place in 2015. We're told, again, there are at least 5 victims, 4 who came forward and participated in the investigation, the prosecution, and ultimately Everett's conviction. 2 of the victims were reportedly Howard University students at the time of the sexual attack. In fact, investigators believe that Everett preyed on the college students. One of the victims is from Virginia. Investigators say Everett's MO was the same in all the cases. He met the unsuspecting underage women out, spiked their drinks, and then raped them and took pictures and video of the encounters. Today in court, Everett appeared to be calm and also cavalier. State's Attorney Aisha Braveway says that this is just another reminder that serial rapists may look very normal. And she goes on to say in this particular case, Everett was a business owner owning a barbershop near Howard University's campus. He dressed well and he also spoke well. We also learned that 2 of the rapes were apparently connected with Everett's DNA. And now, when Everett is released, he will have to register as a registered sex offender. We're also told he'll have to submit DNA to the state's registered sex offender database. And we are also told that he'll be on supervised probation for at least 5 years.
Tonight, a Maryland man is facing charges for refusing to stop playing an amplified horn in public, then resisting arrest. This happened during a Pride event in Frederick. Fox 5's Lily Zhang has this report.
The man at the center of all of this says he has been playing in downtown Frederick for years. So he tells us he's a little confused on why this is an issue right now. We had a chance to speak with that man today. His name is J.F. Clark. Now, he was arrested for resisting arrest as well as disorderly conduct. He's also facing charges related to loud noises. Last weekend, he was playing his horn with an amplified speaker, and according to charging documents, an officer told him that he could play his horn, but did have to play without the speaker, otherwise face arrest. The documents cite that a city code that forbids people to play, use, or operate devices generating sound reaching that could be heard 50 feet away in public areas. Now, there are some exceptions like construction or emergency situations. Clark admits he did tell officers to leave him alone when he was approached about this. Frederick police addressed this incident online, dispelling rumors that a taser had been used. Some came to the defense of police, saying that they did the right thing if, in fact, Clark was playing too loudly. Others say the noise ordinance is too vague.
From my unprofessional, unlicensed opinion, playing my horn and being 50 feet away, it seems like that's an easy way to say, hey, you can't do this, you got to shut this down. And now I can't perform or I can't express myself because of that. And that itself is what I would protest against, what I would probably make this about.
Now, we did ask police whether any complaints were made against Clark or if any warnings were given. A spokesperson for Frederick Police tells us that because this is an internal review that's ongoing, they can't comment beyond what has already been released.
Staying in Maryland, a Waldorf man is convicted for killing his own stepson. Now he could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Fox 5's Josh Rosenthal has the details.
According to court records, 44-year-old George Christopher Floyd called 911 back in October, saying his 18-year-old stepson, Tristan Irvin, attempted to run away and Floyd restrained him, causing him to lose consciousness. According to prosecutors, it all started with a verbal family argument the night before. Then they say Floyd entered Irvin's room at approximately 5 a.m. the next morning and demanded Irvin clean his room. Not long after, prosecutors say Floyd restrained Irvin, ultimately grabbing him by the neck, before Irvin's mom heard the commotion and called for 3 of the victim's friends who were sleeping over and Irvin's teenage brother to help defuse the situation. Instead, prosecutors say, Floyd ordered the young men to help him restrain the victim and pray over him, at one point telling one of the victim's friends to get olive oil, which Floyd then used to put a cross on the victim's forehead. They add that Floyd kept the neck restraint around Irvin for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, ultimately killing him. In a statement, Charles County State's Attorney Tony Covington said, "Thankfully, the jury saw this case for what it was, an unjustifiable, outrageous taking of a young, innocent life." Meanwhile, Floyd's attorney said in a statement, it was agreed that Mr. Floyd did not intend to cause the death of his stepson. He was convicted of a type of murder based upon an allegation that he engaged in extremely reckless conduct in restraining his stepson as he attempted to jump out of a second-story window. As soon as he became aware that his stepson was in medical distress, he began CPR and called 911 and continued CPR until EMTs arrived. He strongly disagrees with the verdict in this case.
A Washington Commanders employee was shot and killed in April, and now his family is asking the public for help to catch the suspect. Fox 5's Shamari Stone has this story.
Prince George's County Police tell us that they found 21-year-old Micah Brown in his car with gunshot wounds. Tonight, his sister wants to know who killed her brother and why, and she fears that this case could possibly become a cold case unless police receive the tips and leads to make an arrest. She says Micah Brown worked hard in the Washington Commanders audiovisual department, and the team gave the family this jersey honoring and paying tribute to him. On Saturday, April 6, around 8 o'clock at night, Prince George's County Police drove to the 11,000 block of South Laurel Drive for reports of gunshots. Michael Brown was shot several times inside his car. Tonight, while police tell us the case is still under investigation, Micah's sister demands justice for her brother.
I'm sad and a little depressed because my brother's gone and I will never see him ever again.
And if the people who killed him or the person who killed him is watching this, what do you say to them?
I just want to know, why did you kill my brother, and what was the reason to take his life? He was an innocent person. He went to work every day. He was a man of God. He was trying to do his best at what he did, and he went to work. He went with his family, and he came back home.
Now, if you have any information about this case, call Prince George's County Police. A spokesperson wants me to remind you that you can also call the department anonymously. I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
A Fairfax County public school special education teacher is facing 7 misdemeanor charges for allegedly abusing multiple students. Fox 5's Tisha Lewis explains.
Court documents identify the defendant as Elizabeth Nagagata, and we're not talking just 1 or 2 incidents. We're talking about 7 different charges, and police say that these incidents in question apparently happened from September 2023 until April of 2004. Investigators also telling Fox 5 that Nagagata apparently special education teacher right here at White Oaks Elementary School. A lot of people have a lot to say about this. Fairfax County Police telling us that Nagagata, a 62-year-old special education teacher, assaulted at least 3 students. She was arrested and charged on Friday. We're told Child Protective Services apparently received a tip saying Nagagata was seen assaulting a student at White Oaks Elementary School. We reached out to Fairfax County Public Schools about the matter. They referred us to Fairfax County Police, who ultimately are declining to comment on this case. We also reached out to the Fairfax County Special Education Parent-Teacher Association. They emailed Fox 5 saying they have no comment on this situation at this time.
Well, I was a former special education teacher who taught students on the spectrum. And I think it's extremely concerning when you have individuals working with some of our most significant population. It's my understanding she's a preschool autism teacher. And I would assume that many of those students are probably nonverbal, which is concerning in and of itself.
Certainly where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of extra training when it comes to children. Teachers are provided tools to where they can relate situations. They're taught very specific procedures on how to handle. Certainly the last thing that we want is a teacher making physical contact.
Just last week, Fairfax County Public Schools announced they hired a new assistant superintendent, Dr. Terry Edmonds-Hurd, for the Department of Special Services. This is at least the district's third person in that same position since Irene Meyer back in 2019.
Well, that does it for this week's Crime in the DMV. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week here on Fox Local with the latest updates.